KUNC and the NPR network, this is In The NoCo. I'm Erin O'Toole. Jeff, Kagan and Paige Doughty have been wearing rainbow-colored socks while performing songs about nature and science in front of kids in Boulder for more than 20 years. Songs like this one.
Producers are collecting the sunlight.
Herbivores are feasting on plants.
And carnivores, we eat those herbivores.
A wilderness dietary dance.
Their performance gets kids rolling, crawling, and acting out animal moves while they sing about concepts like decomposition and photosynthesis. The duo, which performs under the name Jeff and Paige, recently announced that they are adapting their live performances for a TV show called Rainbow Socks, with a plan to release episodes on PBS later this year. Jeff and Paige joined me to talk about why they want to make a TV show and how they became children's entertainers in the first place.
Paige and I met in graduate school for environmental education. We both had a passion for both education and performance, and we started offering programs regularly once a week in Boulder, and that program is now in its 21st year.
I love it. And it's interesting because performing and environmental topics don't always go hand in hand. So I love this melding of the two.
We do as well.
Paige, you have talked about how you want to provide educational entertainment about nature that is not animated with superhero characters and bad guys. Can you talk about how that goal shaped what the two of you do?
So because we're educators first, rather than performers first, we always hold the children's well-being before any performative pieces that we offer. So we're always trying to think of ways to create content in our live shows and in our recorded content that holds children's development as the highest standard. So what can kids really learn and what's appropriate for them to learn at each stage of their learning? And with nature and science, it's all about connection.
Right. Now, what did the producers at PBS tell you about why your kids' performances would translate well to TV?
So we actually have independently produced this show, and that is creating a show that harkens back to the days when we used to watch Mr. Rogers and Reading Rainbow and the wonderful shows that inspired our childhoods, that has a slowed down pace, features real people, and in our television show, it has real nature in it rather than sensationalized nature that you can find in some other shows that can be a little scary, and also sets kids up for an adventure that's unrealistic. Because when we go for a hike, it's kind of slow and calm and very different than animation.
No people on hoverboards, gliding down the trail by you. Jeff, you do much of the songwriting. I want to give listeners another taste of your songs.
Bats, oh baby, mammals that fly. Wings are the things that take us up in the sky. Bats, oh baby, fly through the night. Nocturnal means that we sleep in the daylight.
How do you write a song that is educational and catchy and potent in the mind of a child?
Ooh, I appreciate that question. Erin, I typically start with the messaging, like what do I want kids to get out of this? And that kind of guides the rest of where the song creation will take me. And then usually I will often do some research, sometimes online, but often I'll check out kids' books about that topic to see how other authors have kind of put it across those topics to the age bracket that we're looking to target. And then Paige comes into the process and tells me what we need to shift. Yeah. And then we also figure out not only what we want the music to be and the messaging, but how we want to perform that live. And that is what Paige, my business partner and wife, is an absolute expert at. Shout out to Paige.
At this point, you've done a week of filming around Boulder. Jeff, how hard was it to adapt what you normally do in front of an audience to being in front of a camera?
I had a lot of anxiety going into that week, Erin. It was really interesting. Like, I knew there was a big crew involved, but I didn't know what each person did. I was curious what they would think about our show. It's definitely breaks the mold on a lot of children's television programming.
Sure.
But it was the best week of my professional existence to date. So supportive, such a beautiful community of people. So shout out to our crew. It was really, really wonderful just to have a chance to brainstorm different ways that we could use our costumes and props and just to execute the vision that we'd thought of ahead of time, but also be fun and goofy in the moment and dress up like birds and beatbox. And I'm just so grateful that we've had this opportunity, and we are filming the second half of season 1 in mid-November. So very excited.
It's great.
Repeat it. Let's do it again.
No, PBS already has plenty of nature shows, including shows for children. What do you hope your show adds to the mix?
I hope it adds a little bit of, 1, silly, goofy oddity, 2, that connection to real nature, and that it inspires kids to go outdoors and have an adventure of their own, or perhaps make their own costume of a creature that they are really passionate about in the natural world. And most importantly, Paige and I so passionately believe, since the time we met each other in our mid-20s in graduate school until now, 21 years later, that the work of connecting kids to nature and realizing that we are part of an interconnected whole of species on this planet begins now when the kids are young and they are curious and they are open. And that is the guiding vision and principle behind this show.
And Paige, anything to add to that?
What I would love most of all is for a child to watch this and want to go outside afterwards and then stay outside a little longer, because what they saw on the show was closer to what they see outside of their door. An element of our live show that was really important to me that translate onto the screen is that we involve the kids in motions and actions. So we're inviting them to, are you ready, Jeff? Whenever we go hiking in our concerts and stories,
it sounds like this.
Ooh, ah, ah. Ooh, ah, we're hiking. I'm going to keep it going without you because we're off a little, but it's somos exploradores. So we've also brought in the Spanish language into all of our episodes as well.
That was Jeff Kagan and Paige Doughty, the performers better known as Jeff and Paige. Their upcoming TV show, Rainbow Socks, is aimed for PBS distribution later this year. We'll include links in our show notes and at KUNC.org, where you can read more. And before we go, we want to give a shout out to In The NoCo producer Ariel Lavery. This is her last episode for us. She's been a big part of the team, and we cannot wait to see what she'll do next. That's it today for In The NoCo. I'm Erin O'Toole. Thanks so much for listening.